The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll chat live, as we always do, with former Congressman Peter King. But right now, right this hour, it's about to go down. The socialist mayor of America's largest city, Mamdani, facing a protest tonight outside his residence, Gracie Mansion, at 7 p.m. The group holding it in Jew hatred, calling on Governor Hochul to remove Mamdani from office. The protest bringing together Jewish, Christian, and Muslim faith leaders, activists, community advocates, and public figures demanding action to restore public safety, protect civil rights, and confront extremism. We'll talk to Jane Zirkle, who is with the organization and will be part of the protest that's coming up momentarily. Dominic Carter here with you, folks. The number to reach me this hour, we see your calls coming in, 800-848-9222. But I have to start with this. Hassan Piker. Oh, Hassan Piker, you little bitch. Yes, Hassan Piker. You talk all that garbage. You know, Hassan Piker, where I grew up at in the Bronx, you wouldn't last 3 minutes. You wouldn't last 3 minutes, Hassan Piker. You say, Hassan Piker, that America deserved 9/11. How dare you, you loser. Hassan Piker, your boys with Mamdani. 2 peas of a pod, right? You say awful things about the Jewish community. You are anti-Semitic. You are making a lot of money. And now, oh, the tides have turned, Hassan Piker. Now, Hassan Piker is under investigation by the Trump administration for his trip to Cuba, where goods were taken apparently from America to Cuba. And that's a no-no. So now Hassan Piker is sounding nervous and he doesn't know what to do. And all of that bass in his voice is gone. On his little weak podcast, Hassan Piker, someone bringing up that he may have to ask Mamdani to intercede, and Hassan Piker, for all his hatefulness, declaring he doesn't think the mayor will get involved.
As well, you might need Zoran Magic for this one? Yeah, okay, dude. Yeah. I don't think Zoran Mamdani is going to be doing that anytime soon, because I'm not a concerning incident that took place in the New York City region of America. You know what I mean? Highly doubt it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll prove me wrong.
And you know what, folks? I normally don't use language like that. I really don't. But this guy is a worm, Hassan Piker. And, dude, your 15 minutes of fame with all of your anti-Semitic hatred and dislike of Jewish Americans, your 15 minutes of fame is over. Mamdani may look up to you, but nobody else does. Okay, let's get to the protests for tonight. Taking it directly to Mamdani's residence. Mr. Mayor, you're not as slick as what you think you are. I want to bring in live right now Jane Zirkle. Jane, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so 7 p.m. tonight at the mayor's residence. What's going to happen? Why are you folks doing this?
Tonight is about taking New York City back from Mamdani, back from the pro-Hamas mobs that are terrorizing New York City. And tonight we have built a coalition that is unlike any other. We have Muslims, we have Hindus, we have Christians, we have Jews, we have Democrats, we have Republicans. This transcends politics and the things that normally divide us, because tonight we are all coming together as proud Americans standing against Sharia supremacy, and radical Islamic terrorism. We are almost at 25 years since September 11th. And a lot of people are asking me, what is a 24-year-old doing leading an anti-Mandami protest when so many of my peers support Mandami? And that's because I was born after 9/11, and I grew up in the shadow of it, understanding what radical Islamic terrorism has cost this country. And because I was born after 9/11, I feel an even greater responsibility to make sure that we never forget the lives lost that day, and we never forgot who and what caused it. We are at war for the future of this country, and tonight is the beginning of a very powerful movement that we've established here.
So why bring it to Mamdani's house, Gracie Mansion?
Because Mandami is inspiring this. We see it in his actions. We see it in how he's snubbing the Israel Day parade. We see how he is removing protections for Jewish Americans in New York City while these pro-Hamas mobs continue to target synagogues, and how anti-Semitic hate crimes are surging. Jews have become second-class citizens in Mamdani's New York, and we have to take a stand against that, because attacks on the Jewish community do not stop with the Jewish community. They are attacks on every member of faith, every person who believes in freedom.
And so for folks listening right now, and folks, if you want to ask Jane a question, she's with us for the first segment. The number to reach her live right now is 800-848-9222. For folks interested in possibly attending tonight, you're only a few hours away. How can they do so, and how can they contact the organization?
Yes, so the protest is outside of Gracie Mansion. Per NYPD requirements, you do have to enter on 87th and York Avenue. That's very important because that's actually around the corner from Gracie Mansion. But because we have received such a, enthusiastic response to this, we have put in additional security measures to ensure we have a safe, peaceful evening. If you want more information, you can go to endjewhatred.com/Mandami, where you will find various materials that you can print out to bring to the protest. We will have signs available there, but we will have additional materials available on our website. And you can also follow us on social media at endjewhatred, or myself at Jane Zirkle.
And so I'm told that you're expecting as much as 1,000 people out there in just a matter of a few hours?
I would say we're going to get over 1,000. I mean, I've received word that we have people even flying in from out of state who feel inspired by this. I mean, this is not unique to New York City, what's going on here with terrorist flags flying in communities and these Islamic mobs popping up that are with these, pro-Hamas messages. This is happening all over the country. It's happening on college campuses all across the country. And so this really resonates with all Americans who believe in fighting for Western civilization. And that's what this is. This is so much bigger than any one group or any one isolated incident. It's part of a larger picture, and that is defending Western civilization.
And we are chatting now live with Jane Zirkle. Jane is going to be there at the protest tonight outside Mamdani's home, which happens to be Gracie Mansion. And the group, End Jew Hatred, they're going to be there protesting. Now, Jane, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but you're not worried about safety. The last time there was a large gathering at Gracie Mansion was when those two men from Pennsylvania came and tried to throw those pipe bombs.
Sure. Safety is our top priority. We have taken every security measure possible. The NYPD are on full alert, and I really want to thank our NYPD officers for being so helpful in making sure this protest happens tonight and making sure that everyone stays safe. Once again, that entrance for secure entry is on 87th and York Avenue. And so far, we have not heard of any counter protests going on. If that is the case, though, I have been informed that they will be kept in a separate area to ensure that our event can go on peacefully and everybody has the right to their First Amendment.
And that would be wonderful if it goes down that way, that you can exercise your First Amendment rights the same way that these anti-Jewish protesters are given a full green light from City Hall. I don't know if you're a sports fan, but this really transcends sports. the fact that Mamdani says no New York Nick watch party, but yet you have these anti-Israel groups literally terrorizing the Jewish community in New York. Have you paid attention to that? Is that much ado about nothing? The fact that he says no Nick party, but yet these anti-Semitic protests go forward?
I think it's just blatant hypocrisy. I mean, the Knicks tradition. It's something that, again, is a part of New York culture. The same thing with the Israel Day parade. I mean, this mayor is just totally out of line with what New York is about, and he is out of touch with real New Yorkers. I mean, when you look at who elected this guy, most of these people are not real New Yorkers. You know, we're talking about the transplants. We're talking about the Gen Zers who just moved here and decided to bring their left-wing ideology from their college campuses to New York City and elect this Marxist mayor. And that's what he's bringing. He's bringing in this Marxist, pro-radical Islamic agenda, and we see it infiltrating across the city.
And it's horrible. And you know what, Jane, I have to be honest about something. So sometimes I do a lot of my thinking very early in the morning when I'm exhausted, when I first wake up, or in the shower. And then it hit me this morning like a ton of bricks that we have a mayor of New York City that is not going to be at the Israeli Day parade. If that's not a slap in the face, what is?
New York City is home to the largest Jewish community in the United States of America. And Israeli businesses provide jobs for tens of thousands of New Yorkers. And you see how Mamdani even snubs them on the economic page. He deleted a page dedicated to Israeli businesses. And this does not hurt Israel. All these people screaming Israel this and Israel that, and, you know, we need to cut off Israel. This is hurting New Yorkers because he's doing this to New Yorkers, and he's messing with their jobs and their livelihoods and their communities. You know, New York is a very vast, diverse place, and for him to be treating the Jewish community like this is absolutely disgusting, but it's also how he treats really all faith communities, and you see how he's conducted himself throughout his term as mayor so far. I mean, he has repeatedly snubbed Christians, he's snubbed Catholics, and he is just breaking away from the things that make New York great.
Do you, and I close on this, and then I'm going to go to some calls from the public, but we'll let you go in about 40 seconds. You really don't have hope that Governor Hochul is going to remove this guy in an election year, do you?
I think we have built such a strong and unique coalition with so many different leaders and community organizers that tonight is going to be a tremendous show of pressure. And it's just the beginning, because we're going to keep going and going until we save New York City.
Well, I hear you, and I heard you loud and clear where you said several times, this is just the beginning, and I believe you. Jane Zirkle, thank you so much for joining us live. We'll be following your protest tonight against anti-Semitism and against the mayor of New York City, Mamdani, at Gracie Mansion, which starts at 7 p.m. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And so, folks, on that note, we see all of your telephone calls. We are going to take a break. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, former Congressman Peter King. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And coming up in just minutes, we'll talk live to former Congressman Peter King. As I tell you folks all the time, I take all types of telephone calls. Perfect illustration. Watch what happens right now. Let's go to Peter, line 4 in Harlem. Peter, what's on your mind?
Yes, Dominic, I appreciate you at times, but I wonder, is Israel supposed to be a perfect nation? Because I know a lot of Israelis that don't like Netanyahu, and this is going back almost 40, 50 years.
I don't know what that has to do with Mamdani and how he's treating the Jewish community in New York. Can you please tell me?
Me a specific thing that he's personally...
Okay, so no matter what I say, you want to go off on your tangent. What does that have to do with the way Mamdani is treating the Jewish community in New York?
But you are fabricating how he's treating them.
Oh, I'm fabricating. Go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
Because he likes his people and you don't like yours, are you jealous of him?
Wait. I didn't catch that part. All I heard was jealous. What did you say? I didn't hear you, Peter.
I said because he defends his people and you don't like your own people.
Oh, so wait a minute. Wait. So who are my people, Peter?
Well, you claim to be a person that is of color. I don't believe in that term.
I claim to be a person of color?
Well, you look black, but you pretend to be everything else. Thank you.
Oh, I pretend to be everything else. Hey, Peter, I don't hear the ambulance outside your residence in Harlem the way I normally do. Oh, the little baby hung up. He can't take it. He hangs up every time. He throws his hatred and then he hangs up. Peter, come on. Your game is getting tired, man. Continue kissing. He's no longer alive. But kiss Bob Grant's ass. And then you call up and want to give me a hard time. Right? That's the way it works, black man. Right? You kiss Bob Grant's ass, but you want to call the black man up and give me a hard time. Right? That's how it works. I got your game. Linda, line 5 in Michigan. Linda, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
I'm a lifetime New Yorker, but I live in Michigan now.
Okay.
That's another story.
Okay. Do you like it? Do you like it in Michigan? Do you like it?
I do. I like it very much.
All I remember, I seen lots of lakes and so on, but I stayed away from the Muslim American community. I hope that's not Islamophobic. But anyway, go ahead, Linda.
Oh, that's Dearborn.
Right. No, you can keep Dearborn. Go ahead.
But here's my concern. They asked for the Israeli Day Parade, the National Guard, and Hochul refused. What do you think is going to happen come the Israeli Day Parade? I'm very concerned. And the other point that I want to make is she is running at 87% over Blakeman. What is wrong with my New York? What is wrong, Dominic? Tell me.
You already know, Linda. You don't need me to explain it. You're a smart woman. You have a bunch of people that go, oh, the Democrats said to vote for Hochul, so we'll vote for Hochul. And it's as simple as that. You know that, Linda. And as far as the National Guard, Democrats are allergic to the National Guard. They see it as a sign of weakness if they permit the National Guard to come in. So even though she had the National Guard here, they might not have been armed. She had them here in the subway. But in an election year, she wants to give off a message of strength, of power. And so that's why she can't permit that to happen. But Linda, you know what time it is. It's the blind leading the blind in these cities. They go to these communities and they tell them what they want to hear and vote for me and I'll take you to the promised land. And then they say, sucker, we got your vote. I'll see you in 4 years. You know what time it is, Linda. Time for a break. Former Congressman Peter King is coming up next.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And with us live now, former Congressman Peter King. Congressman, how are you?
Dominic, I'm doing fine. I'm in the car. I was just with Rosemary. She's taking one of those adult education courses, and she asked me to sit in today to listen. It was about espionage and terrorism, and it was fascinating. But right now, I'm all alone. Just you, me, and your millions of listeners out there, Dominic.
Well, we'll take it that way. We'll take it that way. So, Mamdani at an event today started out with "Let's Go Knicks." But Congressman King, explain this to me. If there ever was a time for a politician to shine, it is now, with the Knicks going to the finals. They're one series away from the World Championship, and he shuts down the Knicks watch parties while his pals get a get out of jail free card from the Palestinian community to terrorize Jews in New York, doing much worse. What politician in their right mind, with the Knicks going to the finals, would do something like that?
Well, it's not just a politician. If you're any kind of a leader, And, our city has been so divided. Now, listen, I'm not a big NBA fan. Now, those are separate reasons. Having said that, the city is coming together. If the Knicks win or if they make a great run for it, it's going to be a great moment for the city. And you have people from all different beliefs and ideologies and everything can come together. Any real leader who would jump on something like that and use that as a way to go forward. Like when the Mets won the 1969 World Series. I mean, John Lindsay used that, to get himself reelected mayor.
Exactly.
I'm oversimplifying it, but not that much. I mean, these are the moments that any elected official, both for selfish political reasons and also for the good of the city or the county or the state, you want to just harness them, and you want to really catapult them out there. And what he's doing is, listen, if there was a real threat, that's one thing. But the fact is, the real threats were the last few years with the pro-Hamas and the pro-Palestinian, the anti-Israel demonstrators and rioters. That was the real threat. And instead, he was basically saying, the cops are the ones who are causing the problem. Now he wants to shut this down altogether. There's no hint of any real violence or anger or hatred. If anything, the crowd may celebrate a bit too much. But that wasn't the case with the Hamas or Palestinian or anti-Israel demonstrators. They hated too much, and they were causing violence. They were shutting down systems, educational systems, schools, attacking people on the streets. So, no, this is total hypocrisy on his part. Listen, if he was shutting down all big demonstrations, including the Hamas ones, no. But with them, he says that, first of all, he wants a global intifada, but he also says we have to have more freedom of speech. We have to have more freedom of expression. We have to let people go out and express themselves. Well, God, if they can express themselves for hate, they should certainly be allowed to express themselves for joy when the city is coming together.
Well, it makes you wonder if that's what he wants for the city to come together. I mean, I don't get it with this guy. Let me put it to you this way. For lack of a better, he's just weird. He's just weird. And, he was elected mayor, and you know how I feel. You know who I blame for this, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go there, right? I'm not going to go there.
I'm with you there. But, I'm going there. I'm not going there, but I'm with you. If I did go there, I'd be with you.
Because that person is mighty silent these days. And I received confirmation the other day that funds did exchange hands, by the way. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm going to save that. I'm going to drop that bomb on another day. So where do we go from here, Congressman King, with this mayor? I mean, this guy, his wife is a racist. He makes an excuse for her. His daddy is God knows what. He makes an excuse for everybody. Where do we go with this guy?
Well, this is one situation where there's so much there. There's so much raw material and raw data to go after him on. I think it's just to over and over again emphasize to the people of New York what he's doing to the city, what he plans to do to the city of New York, and what his beliefs are. And then it's up to the people. And we have to get that message out there, though. We can't just talk about people stealing elections or anything. We have to show that the people of New York, for different reasons, and you and I agree on one of them, that's for sure, on one person, he was elected. And we have to tell the people and convince them what a terrible, terrible mistake they made, not just for themselves, but for all New Yorkers. This is not the New York that all of us grew up in. Listen, I said, born in Manhattan, raised in Queens, went to high school and college in Brooklyn. My father was NYPD for over 30 years. I mean, this is something I live and breathe in New York. I was a Brooklyn Dodger fan. I went to high school in Ebbets Field. I mean, I can go up and down the list. And there was something about New York. Whether you agreed or disagreed with some guy, whether he was black or white or Jewish or Christian, somehow you were united by the fact that we're all New Yorkers. We're all in this together. We all understood that there was like a certain leverage you had. You could go back and forth with each other. But it was, in the end, we all stood united, and it should never have gotten personal. This is different. We're always Americans. We're proud to have the American flag, proud to stand with the police, proud to stand with veterans. And now you have someone who basically thinks that the police are the enemy, that thinks the Jewish community, which has made so many contributions to New York City, has done so much in every way, whether it's cultural, business, educationally. They've been in the forefront, and all the groups have. But for them to be singled out as somehow they're villains and somehow they're second or third class citizens, to me, it's absolutely disgraceful. It's wrong. And so I think, listen, he is basically espousing almost a foreign ideology. And I'm not talking about his religion. I don't want people tagging me with that, because you can have Muslims who are great Americans, but what his But his brand, or what he advocates, is really like an anti-American, anti-capitalist, and in many ways anti-Christian, anti-white. I mean, the fact that he wants to tax, have more of a tax on white middle-income area, middle income, and that's what he was talking about. The fact that he's always targeting somehow the people who don't fit into his narrow definition of what a New Yorker should be, and that's, to me, indefensible.
Right, and then the question becomes, how in the hell would he know what a New Yorker should be? He's not a New Yorker at heart.
No.
And so, Congressman, again, as I said to our first guest, it just hit me this morning that we have a mayor that says he's not going to be part of the Israeli Day Parade. What does that say?
To me, whether it's the Israeli Day Parade, the St. Patrick's Day Parade, the Columbus Day Parade, the Puerto Rican Day Parade, this is all part of the fabric of New York. This is all part of the mosaic, the stained glass window. And again, the Jewish community is such a prominent part of that. And to me, particularly at a time when that community is under siege, when that community is being attacked, that's all the more reason. Listen, for a lot of the other parades, and many times you're going out there for the fun of it. It's a ceremony, and you're having a good time. But to me, there's more involved this year because the Jewish community is under siege, that not only are you there to enjoy yourself, but you're there to show solidarity. And to not be there, to me, at a time when they are under attack, when they are suffering through these traumas, that to me is a abdication of responsibility. And to me, he's certainly signaling the very wrong message.
Well, the good news about this is that there is no way this man will ever be elected to a second term. I think he knows that. He can fool the people some of the time, but not all of the time. You have these people that are lost that will vote for him, right? Anyway, let's switch gears. Iran, we keep hearing a deal, no deal, close to a deal, no deal. No nuclear materials, back and forth, back and forth. Do you think this is almost over?
Honestly, Dominic, I don't know, and I'd be really reluctant to say because I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But I do know that the president wants an agreement that is going to end Iran's nuclear ambitions, and it's also going to open up the Straits of Hormuz. And that has to be, to me, whatever happens beyond that is one thing. If they want to talk about sanctions relief and all that, that's to me are separate items. But as far as you can't allow a terrorist state to get access to nuclear weapons. So it's not something where you can, most disagreements, most treaties even, you can split the difference. You can't say in this case, okay, you can have half the nuclear weapons you want. Or you can't say you can shut down half the Straits of Hormuz and decide who's going to go through or not. So there's certain things we have to insist on. Right now, there's no guarantee that Iran would give up soon, but I would just think the economic pressure that's being brought on them and the military pressure, if the president has to go back to that, Iran cannot survive that long. But it may not be that easy in the short term. And that's why, listen, the average working person paying the extra money in gasoline prices, it's tough. I realize that. All I can say is that if you look at it from the perspective of if there is a nuclear attack 5 to 6 years from now, and people say, why wasn't something done about it? I don't think Donald Trump wants to be the president didn't do something about it. And I don't think we want to be the generation that didn't want to do something about it. So it's not easy, but things in life that you're aspiring to, things that are really important to go for, are never that easy. So this is, the times that try men's souls. These are difficult times, but it may be a sacrifice we have to make. Having said that, I'm not minimizing that average working man and woman who's trying to make ends meet and their gas and fuel prices going up. But it may be something we have to do a while longer. But in the long run, this is for the good of the country. There's no benefit for anyone here except the average American who could be spared being the victim of a nuclear attack.
So, Congressman King, I close on this note, and we really appreciate the time. Here's what I'm trying to understand, right? And I know some will say Islamophobia. How did we get to the point where all these mosques are popping up, and you have Muslim Americans feeling that they have the right to have prayer on the streets of New York City, to to those loud prayer calls alarming an entire community, to stand out front, a group of grown men outside a female Jewish high school in Brooklyn, quote unquote, praying. How did we get to this point, Congressman?
I tell you, it's really been an abuse of a right. Yes, we have the right of freedom of religion. We have the right to pursue our religion, but again, we feel it's important for us and God. Having said that, you have no right to impose that on other people. And if you're out in the street, if you're out in the public square, and you're dominating as far as noise, as far as blocking other people, as far as impeding other people's freedoms, that's an abuse of freedom of religion, and it can't be tolerated. And I just think part of it is that after 9/11, the media and the elite was so concerned that we were going to have Islamophobia, which we never had, by the way. But instead, they gave almost extra rights to Muslims. They get the benefit of the doubt that others don't. If it's a white Christian somewhere, nobody is out of the way to defend them. Or if you're Catholics, how the FBI, how the IRS was going after them, and the FBI. So this is, I think, right now it's leaders in the Muslim community. Some are pushing it too far, but they've been given that opening by too many of the liberals and progressives who are so petrified of being called Islamophobic that they just can't say no matter how unreasonable the request is, and how unreasonable the demand is.
Well, Congressman King, we thank you so much for joining us. So much knowledge in such a short period of time from you. Thank you so much. I always greatly look forward to chatting with you. Thank you very much.
Dominic, it's my privilege. Have a great day.
Thank you. And what the congressman and I just spoke about in terms of Islamophobia, I don't care what they say about me. I tell you what. Why don't you try bringing those prayers to my lawn or near my house and see how I react to it? And we'll see how well it goes over for you. It ain't going to work. But as far as Mamdani, the mayor of New York City and the New York Knicks, a man on social media, ooh, kind of brutal.
Hey, yo, Knicks fan. Turns out your boy Mamdani don't give a about you. Turns out he used you as props. Turns out you're not allowed to have your watch party outside of the Garden. He don't give a if you win. He just wanted to use you for votes. How does it feel to be rinsed? Rinsed by a socialist from Uganda. He's not a New Yorker.
Oh, you're from Queens, right?
He is not a New Yorker, my friend. He don't give a about you. Because if the Knicks win, Mamdani, you're screwed. The city isn't yours. New York's not yours, baby. New York belongs to the Knicks fans. New York belongs to the Knicks fans. Not you, buddy. Go back to Uganda where you belong. You don't belong in that city. They don't have love for you. They know that you use them. You go, bitch. You're a fucking liar. A liar. Fam, while we're here, just remember, his wife loves using the N-word, alright? This is your people. That's your champion right there. I'm waiting on all these commie transplants to come out.
And so there you have it, one man's take on Mamdani. And Mamdani at his news conference today started out with, "Let's go Knicks." Go figure, folks. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. Here we go. Mamdani in action. The socialist mayor just put New York City landlords on notice as he calls for taking, quote, aggressive legal action, unquote, against landlords and transferring ownership of chronically neglected buildings to the community. Who gets to decide who the community is? Mamdani! Tell me. You think you're so slick with your communist ways Jimmy Fontanez, Staten Island says, referring to the Knicks watch party, maybe if they shout free, free, free Palestine at the Knicks watch party, perhaps they will get a special pass. Just like Jimmy, the anti-Semitic protesters attacking the Jewish children, pulling out the Jewish girl's hair, walking through the entire community, waving hateful flags. And Mamdani says, peep, de nada. You want to have a good time at the Knicks watch party? Nope. It's not soccer, which he approves of. And you know what? I'm not going to focus on the one person. This dude sold out. He threw his entire career away to help Mamdani win. A 30-year broadcasting career, and he threw it all away for a few nickels, a few dollars in his pocket. I guess this was his way to sticking it to all of us, because really that's what he did. And that's the real reason why he didn't come back here. It's not because of anything else. He couldn't take the heat. How was he going to face you folks after he sold out the way he did? And he knew it was just a matter of time until, it's one thing if I'm just saying it. Sooner or later, you're going to see 2 + 2 = 4. And he doesn't have an answer for that. Neither him nor his very close aide that took him way off the cliff and destroyed his career. Let's go to David, line 3, Great Neck, New York. David, what's on your mind?
Hey, Governor.
Governor, stop. This is the second time you've done this. Do you think all black people sound alike and look alike?
This is there anything that you can do in the state?
Okay, I'm going to say again. I don't know if you're high. I don't know what's going. You do realize you're not talking to Governor Patterson, right?
I thought this was the Governor Pat.
Okay, meet Mr. Click. He's done. Let's go to Yuri on the Parkway. Line 4, Yuri, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, how are you? So every day, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm so happy to listen to you, because I always bring something home, always.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. Thank you.
And I want to tell you something. So yesterday was Memorial Day, and we were remembering everybody, all the soldiers, girls and boys that never came home or came home 100%. So my question to you, Dominic, do you remember after 9/11 when we sent the soldiers in the Middle East to Iraq, Afghan, and they tell us, oh, we got to fight everyone on their soil because we don't want enemies come to our soil?
Right.
Let me ask you a question.
It's got to be quick. This is moving too slow. We're out of time. Go ahead.
So what's happening with all those enemies that we fought over there? Now they're over here. Same ideology, same people.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. Thank you for the call. We've had peace here for several years. And by the way, that last call before Yuri, that's a plant from Mr. 7%. That's it. When him and his stupid supporters, that they follow him no matter what, they think it's funny, right? What's funny is how stupid you are to follow a loser like Mr. Sliwa. That's what's funny, to keep it real. Let's go to Pat, line 3, Florida. Pat, what's on your mind?
How you doing, Dominic? Long-time listener. I decided to call today because I was upset. I love the Knicks.
Okay.
And that they're stopping these watch parties. Can't the Garden just turn on the Jumbotrons up front and just run the game?
Nope, because if the city says no, that's a legal liability. If the city says no, there is nothing the Knicks can do. Nothing.
I don't know. That sounds like, that's a violation of their free, to demonstrate like Times Square.
I hear you, Pat. I'm sorry. I'm completely out of time. Folks, born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been honoring America's heroes ever since. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. T2T.org. I'm back live at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?